All right, imagine this. You got two rival sports teams, and instead of a ball, they're fighting for control of the most important prize in the game, the Mediterranean Sea. Who wins? The stakes are higher than ever before, because we're not talking about just a trophy. We're talking about domination of trade routes and resources that could change the course of history. Rome and Carthage, the two biggest powerhouses of the ancient world, were about to go head-to-head in the First Punic War. The twist: Rome didn't even have a navy. But hey, Rome wasn't about to let that stop them. It's 260 BC. The Romans, fresh off their impressive shipbuilding strategy, are about to take the Mediterranean by storm. They built a navy from scratch and even designed a new weapon, the corvus, a massive boarding spike that turns naval combat into a gladiatorial battle at sea. Here's the thing. The Carthaginians were the undisputed kings of the sea. They had a navy so powerful that it made Rome's fleet look like a bunch of rowboats. But Rome wasn't having it. In 260 BC, the Romans decided to show Carthage who was boss and launched the Battle of Mylae. And guess what? Rome won. Against all odds, they crushed the Carthaginian fleet thanks to their new innovative tactics with the corvus. It was a game changer. Rome's victory was like a David versus Goliath moment, except instead of a sling, Rome was armed with naval innovation and a thirst for victory. Rome wasn't just a land-based empire anymore. They had proven they could hang with the heavyweights on the high seas. Now you might think that victory would have made Rome's job easier, but nope. This was far from over. The First Punic War wasn't just about naval battles. Sicily, the prize everyone was fighting for, became a bloody battleground. Carthage wasn't going to just roll over. They gathered more forces, built a new fleet, and launched counterattacks. They controlled key territories in Sicily, and their mercenaries started rebelling. The island was caught in the middle of the chaos. Rome was under pressure, but they refused to give up. Meanwhile, Carthage's general, Hamilcar Barca, was out there raising armies of his own and showing just how determined they were to hold on to their Mediterranean empire. But Rome's persistence kept pushing them back. And here's where Rome shows us just how good they are at learning from their mistakes. After several defeats, the Romans decided to take their navy to the next level. They improved their ships, perfected the corvus even more, and refocused their efforts on decimating Carthage's supply lines. Rome didn't just rely on brute force anymore. They were playing the long game. By 241 BC, the war was grinding on, and both sides were starting to feel the weight of it. Both Rome and Carthage had drained their resources, but the end was near. The last major battle of the war, the Battle of the Aegates Islands, would change everything. It was the final showdown, and this time, Rome had the upper hand. Their fleet, stronger than ever, completely wiped out the remnants of Carthage's navy. The Carthaginians, with their navy shattered, had no choice but to ask for peace. And just like that, the First Punic War came to a close. The Treaty of Peace was signed, and Sicily became Rome's. That little island that had started the whole mess, now it was Rome's first overseas province. But there was a cost. Thousands of lives lost, fortunes spent, and a war that had taken its toll on both empires. The end of the First Punic War didn't mean an end to the rivalry between Carthage and Rome. Far from it. Carthage, humiliated and weakened, would lick its wounds. But here's the kicker. They weren't done. Hamilcar Barca, one of Carthage's best generals, would go on to lead a new generation of warriors, including his famous son, Hannibal Barca. And that, my friends, is where the Second Punic War starts. As for Rome, well, this victory set the stage for their future dominance in the Mediterranean. Rome had proven that they could outlast, outsmart, and outfight even the most powerful forces of the ancient world. But they weren't done yet. Their eyes were already on Carthage, and the real challenge was just beginning. If you thought the First Punic War was crazy, just wait until you hear about the Second Punic War. You know, the one with Hannibal, the elephants, and the crossing of the Alps. Hit that like button, share this with your fellow history nerds, and subscribe for more of this epic tale. Because believe me, the war between Rome and Carthage has only just begun. See you in the next video.